We decided to develop the typical codes and conventions of a documentary by featuring an on-screen presenter who is also the off-screen narrator. We felt this would familiarise the audience with who's speaking. To reflect the forever changing music industry, we chose to feature a lot of fast-paced editing, symbolising this for our documentary. This was partially influenced by Super Size Me. Sticking to codes and conventions, we stuck with including a couple of expert interviews. We also stuck with the theme of having them look across the camera and featuring their name and profession in the corner. To keep with our fast-paced editing, we included some cutaway shots to keep the editing constantly moving and also more entertaining. We developed codes and conventions by having various forms of non-diegetic music to reflect the mood and tone of the issue, at times being uplifting and other times being dark. Our topic, as far as how we structured it, was of no influence, as our topic is quite unique, and in our topic research could only find one non-professional documentary to do with streaming and CDs. The stop-motion intro that we used was influenced by an A2 Media documentary, Who's Complaining About Video Games. We developed it to make it relevant to our topic. We chose to wipe the discs and then put down a laptop with the Spotify logo in its place to show CDs have been pushed away and digital forms of listening to music are seemingly taking over. We didn't edit too much natural sound out for the interviews, particularly the vox pops. This was to create more realism and make it seem more authentic. A creative decision we made was to represent how the industry sales are segregated, which was shown in a pie chart. This pie chart was in the form of a CD relating to our topic. As well as this, when we were showing facts, statistics, etc., we would blur out the background footage so that the audience could focus more on what we were presenting. We feel this is an effective way to deliver information to our audience more successfully. Finally, we chose to compare Kanye West and Taylor Swift due to them being iconic figures among late teenage, young adult age range, of which is our target audience. By using these as an example to make a point, we feel it would resonate more with our audience. We stuck with the codes and conventions of making the advert between 30 and 40 seconds, as we didn't want to drag it out and over-inform people. Doing the same, we used some vox pops from our documentary in our radio trailer to mix up the tone from our narrator, and also to make it seem more relatable to our audience. Not only this, but we used a few other extracts of interviews used in the documentary for the same purpose, to not overdo it too much with our one narrator. We challenged the codes and conventions by not using much facts on our topic, as we thought our target audience is late teenage / young adult age range, that people's opinions would sit better with them instead of a bunch of facts or numbers. We used the same music as we did for most of the documentary. This was done purposely to create both brand identity and also familiarity. Throughout the trailer, we used rhetorical questions to encourage the reader to think about what we were asking, and then hopefully watching the documentary to find out. Lastly, we kept mentioning the title, Is the CD Dead?, so that the audiences would really remember it and it would sink in. The text of our article wasn't too long, which meant there were no need for 3 columns, so we used 2, sticking with the typical codes and conventions of a TV listing a double page spread. Our title is big and bold, which is expected, but then we added a border around the words in our title, therefore developing the codes and conventions. This was done purely for creative purposes, as we thought it looked good. Again, developing the codes and conventions, we made our subheading longer than what's expected. This was because we feel it's more eye-catching than the text in the rest of our article, so we wanted to deliver good information to urge the reader to continue reading on. For similar purposes, we put the date and time of our documentary in quite a large text and in a big box, as we feel this is vital information we want to be seen by the reader. We had an image of a vinyl being played in black and white and slightly faded. We use this in the background as it adds a feel relating to music or the industry itself. It contrasts with the modern music industry as it's quite old and also in black and white, which represents this. The black and white is also part of our colour scheme, as well as red, which we use for certain text. This adds to our brand identity. We have placed our main image on the right page at the top. It's large and very noticeable. This is typical from a double page spread. Some of our minor images are quite scattered and actually interrupt our text at points. This challenges the codes and conventions and is done for creative purposes and also differentiate our brand from others. Our article is to be placed in Radio Times, and we followed the format by putting the page numbers on the outer bottom corners and the Radio Times logo on the inner bottom corners. We have used a lot of inclusive language such as we to engage our reader and help create a connection with our brand, in turn encouraging them to want to watch a full documentary.